Hi, welcome to A Watchman's Journal. I'm Diana Larkin. Thank you for joining me today. Our episode is entitled, Ride Out the Storm with Me. We have a lot of entries to go through, so I just have a couple things I want to mention as we get started here and just hear the amazing prophetic words the Father has shared with me in my journal from this past week, and some from as far back as 3 years ago that are coming into their fulfillment because we have a faithful Father. Every now and then someone mentions how disturbing all the YouTube commercials are. Man, I really get that. It's so hard to watch a video that they just keep popping commercial after another in. And I mean, somebody says, this is the most important thing you're ever going to hear in your life. And then they put a commercial in, it's like, so to avoid that, I have actually subscribed to YouTube. So if that's something you can fit in your budget, that will eliminate the commercials for you. But I just wanted to let you know that my channel is not monetized. I don't make anything off of my YouTube videos. They're just freely given for all of you. But YouTube is a free platform and they have to pay for it somehow. So they put commercials on videos. So I don't have any control over that. Wish I did, but that is just the way it is in the world right now. It may not always be that way. We'll see. The other thing I wanted to mention to you was a book I would recommend. It's by Dr. Ralph Plum. It's called Awakened. And just let me read you a little bit about him. He's an insightful writer, global strategist. He has had quite a life, and some of his adventures are in this book. He said much of his life has been focused on serving and rescuing at-risk children. His expressed life mission, I connect need with resource, utilizing the significant networks and relationships God has entrusted to me. So he has been around the world, and it's just an amazing book. It covers all 7 mountains of society. It covers what came before, what is going to come after. It is very comprehensive, includes political, church, history, it's kind of like what I'm going to be writing will be a short version of all that he has written. This is the encyclopedia of the awakening. So you can get it on Amazon, Awakened by Dr. Ralph Plum. And he said, embracing freedom in times of peril. And that's the subtitle of that. So that's a resource I would recommend to you. And I was honored that Dr. Plum, actually put a couple of my journal entries into his book as he was reflecting on the God part of this amazing awakened time that we are in. So anyway, on with the show. Let's do this. This is God's show. He is showing up and showing off to the world. And we are blessed to live in this time and to be his sons and daughters. We're going to first go over February 25th of 2025. There's a lot of multiplied grace in all those numbers. But he surprised me that morning by saying, rock and roll. I never know what he's going to say. I love him so much. So multifaceted, funny, serious, powerful, intimate. He's an amazing God. So that morning he said to me, the evil empire is moving as fast as they can to launch their deadly and destructive schemes in order to stop the exposures of their greed, corruption, and perversion. They're about to come up against a rock, and that rock would be me. I will only allow their plans to roll out far enough to awaken the sleepers who are still under the spell of Leviathan. The multitude of exposures pouring out are causing the lower level of those partnered with darkness to roll over on those above them in order to try and save themselves. This will further rock those in the upper echelons of the dark power of dark powers. Oh, I have seen to it that this rock and roll season is not a party for the evil empire. Heartburn is at an all-time high as their stress levels continue to skyrocket. Meanwhile, my army of light, you have a rock to stand upon that cannot be shaken. Your name is on the roll of those that I count as faithful and brave. In this season of dark to light, everything that can be rocked will be rocked. Through it all, my plans will continue to roll out for the planting of the kingdom era. The new life that comes forth from the establishment of my kingdom on the earth, as it is in heaven, will give birth to the golden age. The evil empire is about to be smashed on the rock, and you are invited to roll with me into the fulfillment of all my promises. Wow. All right, let's go back February 25th, 2022, 3 years ago, to a journal nugget. We'll just read part of this. And this was titled From My Heart. The great rescue operation has begun. I am shaking loose the dark control these evil ones have established. The rescue of your land will have a domino effect across the world, freeing other nations as well. Isn't that good news? We are crying out for the other nations of the world as well to see their freedom and their coming into the kingdom era of God's golden age. He said, I'm speaking these things to you, my army of light, from my heart, because I do not want you to be captured by fear or left blind and confused about what is happening. Realize there are going to be many very unlikely heroes in this war. Perk up your ears. They may have tarnished pasts, but they have pledged themselves to fight for freedom from the darkness that threatens to consume the world. From my heart, know that this war will end with darkness defeated and love and light winning. So I had come to mind several unlikely heroes. Now, remember, this was 3 years ago, did I say? I believe I did. Yes. So some of these unlikely heroes weren't really on the team, should we say. We know that, first of all, that President Trump is an unlikely hero. Nobody expected him to step into the political realm. He was in the business, the construction realm, a promoter, an amazing strategist. But he surprised everyone by becoming an unlikely hero set to rescue the world from the creeping darkness. Elon Musk comes to mind. He just hasn't been that many years since he realized that the media was lying to them and that he needed to change his perspective. He's on a journey, just like the rest of us, to figuring out truth and to figuring out who is the truth. So just keep that in mind. Support these people with your prayers. They may not be choir boys yet, but you know what? God will use anyone who says yes to him. And these have a considerable sacrifice personally. So no complaining, okay? Just pray. All right, let's go back 2 years, February 25th. There were some significant February 25th entries, and that happens sometimes. And this one was called Breakthrough Victory, and it started with Psalm 18, verses 24 and 25 from the Passion Translation. This is the very day that brings gladness and joy, filling our hearts with glee. Oh God, please come and save us again. Bring us your breakthrough victory. All right. What is coming, the Father said, is a display of my sheer power and great glory as I bring you a breakthrough victory in your personal lives and in your nations and rippling out into all the world. You can see the size you can see the size of the war, and you've come to know that many of the tentacles of evil and stolen power that the darkness has spread like an iron net around the world. As you sit with me, I want to give you a bigger view of the breakthrough victory that is coming. It will sweep deeper and higher and wider than you ever thought possible. My breakthrough victory is a battering ram, a tsunami, a volcano, an earthquake, and a flood that will remove darkness and bring in my glorious light and breakthrough victory. Wow. What a God. That's amazing. All right, March 26, 2025, a march for life. And this is really his word to me for the month of March. So think of it in that way, because I think there are things that the darkness have lined up against us, but we are marching for life. They're for death, we're for life. He said to me, fall in step with me, army of light, and join me in a march for life. The world has had enough of the arrogant elite's death agendas. Together, let's trample over let's trample over death, and let's march for life. Declare my life into every area of society. Declare, I rebuke death and death agendas, and I command you to give way to the march for life. Death agendas, we bury you under our marching feet, and we call forth life, light, and glory into the atmosphere. We command life, light, and glory to fall from the atmosphere as seed to be sown into the soil of our nation. We plant these heavenly seeds with our march for life. Darkness and death, you have lost your reign over our land. And we declare a new day of life, life, life. This life will spring up and bring healing and wholeness where there has been sickness, trauma, and deception. The dark ages are coming to a close, and a renaissance of new life, light, and glory is flooding in. Do not put up with any lingering darkness or lies. Continue to declare to the dark lies and fear-mongering, no more voice. Let my joy fill your heart, my hope shine forth from your eyes, and join me in a march for life. Wow. All right, let's go back February 26th. Oops, nope. We're moving on here. This is February 27th, 2025. Ride Out the Storm with Me, our episode title. He said the evil empire is losing, and so they grow more desperate with each day. The exposures and the threat of exposures of all their secret, greedy, and perverted lives are the dark clouds obscuring their future. These dark clouds are my storm brewing against them, and soon you will see my thunder frequencies shake open them. No, shake open all the hiding places of the evidence that will prove how evil and corrupt they have been. My lightnings will highlight all those who have sold themselves to do evil. The false media will not have enough time or enough reporters to try and cover up the flood of corruption that is coming from my storm. The darkness is frantically trying to release their own storm that will distract people from their exposures. That will seek to vilify. Okay, they're trying to release their own storm that will distract people from the exposures, that will seek to vilify those people uncovering the truth. We've certainly seen that. And that will cause chaos and fear. Don't buy into their storm and don't get captured by fear. Whose storm is stronger? Am I not the God who brings life out of death? Have I not swallowed up death in resurrection victory? I can still their storm with a single word. When the time is right, I will arise, stretch out my strong right arm, and declare, peace. Be still. Their storm will shrink and disappear, and you will see them no more. Their striding, mocking, hypocritical, lying voices will fall silent, and peace and truth will blow in over your land as my storm gives way to the blue skies of stillness and fulfilled promises. Come and see things from my perspective. Ride out the storm with me. Nahum 1:3 in the Passion Translation, Yahweh is very slow to anger, but so great in power. Yahweh will not let the guilty go unpunished. He marches out in the whirlwind and storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. We're going to march for life right into the victory. February 28th, 2025, I have a better plan. This is a good word. The darkness has worked for years, fine-tuning a plan to cause such fear, panic, and confusion that they will be able to step in and take control of the world. This plan is full of illusion and delusion. And if you are weak in your faith, or if you only have head knowledge of me, you are in jeopardy of being deceived. Understand that I always have a better plan. Remember that I laugh at my enemies and I see all the weaknesses in their plans, and I know exactly how to defeat them because I have a better plan. Their pride and their greed will be their downfall because it will keep them from knowing that I have a better plan. I am well able to preempt their evil and clever plan by inserting my better plan in its place. As the icing on the cake, their arrogance will keep them from seeing that it is my better plan. They will believe it is their dark plan that's unfolding. They will reveal who they truly are. All masks will come off when they think they are winning. Then my better plan goes into full swing, and I rescue the world from the unmasked darkness. Their intricate, high-tech, deadly plans will be a dumpster fire that they are required to watch as it burns up all their plans for world domination and control. I am telling you these things so that you will not be captured by fear, but you will remain in faith and fighting mode as my better plan unfolds. If your faith is weak or you only have head knowledge of me, come to me now. I will reveal myself to you as the strong and mighty one who will rescue, provide, and preserve you as the world moves from dark to light. Always remember that I have a better plan. Here's a clue that you only have head knowledge of him. If you struggle with doubt a lot, to me, that tells me that you've heard the word, you've heard his promises, you've heard a lot of good things, but you don't really know him. And you cannot put your faith, you cannot throw the whole weight of your life on someone that you don't know. So he is inviting you, come know me, come find out who I am, and you'll be able to trust me. And those doubts, they will fall away. So February 28th of 2022, we're going to go back 3 years to a journal nugget called Breakthrough, Breakout, and Break Open. Those all sound very serious. He said, I'm declaring to you today that you will see me break through, break out, and break open everything that opposes my light and my goodness. Every darkened heart, every evil scheme, every lie that has sought to keep you, your nation, and the world captive will be annihilated. I am coming as a double-edged threshing machine that will break through all their power structures. I will break out like a mighty tsunami with my army of hosts in great supernatural power to establish my justice and righteousness. My hammer will break open all their disgusting secrets, and it will expose all their lies and evil schemes. History will remember them as murderers, sorcerers, traitors, and arrogant fools. I'm casting a giant shadow on this land that will reach to all nations. Those who are mine will rest and be protected beneath it. Those who serve darkness will be overpowered by it, and they will receive what they served, deep darkness. My army of light, I am inviting you to be a part of this grand victory. Declare, I am coming to break through, break out, and break open. This will build a highway for me and my host to come and fully rescue you and to win this war decisively. Psalm 28, verse 4 in the Message translation. They talk a good line of peace, then moonlight for the devil. Pay them back for what they've done, for how bad they've been. Pay them back for their long hours in the devil's workshop. Then cap it with a huge bonus. All right, February 28th, from a year ago, the winds of change are blowing. We've been hearing about winds of change again. The winds of change are blowing, and they are blowing in the promised season of deliverance. That's good news. The enemy is trying to blow in their storm of death and destruction in a desperate attempt to take back control. Ask me for discernment to know if this is my wind or is this an enemy storm. Call forth my winds of change and push back, break apart the enemy's storms. Be in awe of my winds of change and use your authority to defeat and defang the enemy's storms. I want to be your advisor, your provider, and your peace. Come to me, lean on me, and I will move through, and I will move you through the winds of change with great grace and peace. This is your heritage as a covenant son or daughter of the Most High King. Tell the storm of fear and uncertainty in your heart to be still and know that I am God. Wow. All right, March 1st, into our March for Life month. And it's called Spring Cleaning for Your Nation. It's the perfect time of year to do some deep cleaning in your nation. Declare with me, let the closets of the corrupt be flung open before the world, and let everything of the darkness be brought into the light of exposure. I will obstruct those who are trying to keep the closets sealed and who are trying to block the deep cleaning that is on my agenda. The darkness thinks they are just opposing President Trump's efforts to deep clean your nation, but I am the one who gave this spring cleaning assignment to him. That means the evil empire has picked a fight with me as well as your president, and I am an unbeatable opponent. Their efforts to obstruct and obscure will blow up in their faces. Declare with me, we call in complete transparency in every hidden and dirty corner of our land. We release uncovering angels to open every dirty closet and every hidden vault of corruption. Winds of Change hosts, we call for you to blow out the atmosphere of lying and deception. Blow in the fresh winds of spring to cleanse the atmosphere and begin this cleansing in Washington, D.C. No more will people want to breathe in the stench of corruption that has been over your land. Welcome in this season of spring cleaning for your nation. That is a good word. And speaking of obstructing, I just think I read yesterday a report that the head of the FBI office in New York. The head of that office was fired under the allegation that he is hiding evidence in the Epstein case. So you obstruct, God is going to remove you. I'm glad he's on our side. Let's go back March 1st of 2024. This one's called Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. Get ready to rumble, forces of light. The darkness is mounting their forces and all their destructive schemes to come against mankind. I wanted to repeat this word because I believe that this is the objective for this March. He said, let my boldness, my courage, and my strength rumble through your inner being and awaken the warrior in you. Declare to the enemy and all his schemes, you will not stand, nor will your plans succeed. The forces of light have come to oppose you and to overpower you in the name of the Most High God. The response to my rumblings will be earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes, tsunamis, cracks in the ocean floor, and signs in the heavens. My rumblings will produce shakings, shiftings, and removals of corrupt people and things. Are you ready to rumble, forces of light? Be released in my power and my glory and overcome the darkness with my light shining through you. Rumble, rumble, rumble. March 2nd, 2025, an outbreak of goodness. We've had an outbreak of a lot of things we don't appreciate. Outbreaks of wars, outbreaks of sickness, So here's an outbreak of goodness. The flailing, desperate, evil empire has all kinds of dark plans to try and take back the control of the world. They have outbreaks of sickness, financial collapse, wars, and tragedies planned for the world. You have been raised up, empowered, and strengthened for such a time as this, my army of light. You have faith-filled prayers, decrees, and declarations to come against, to diminish, and to demolish all these evil schemes. I have a beautiful and powerful counter move that I am releasing, and that is an outbreak of my goodness. While those partnered with the darkness wail, complain, and feel sorry for themselves, you will experience my grace, my blessing, and my favor. Grace will empower you to do what I've called you to do in fulfilling your life's purpose. My blessing will come at you from every direction. Financially, physically, and spiritually, you will multiply. Multiplied provision, multiplied physical healing, and multiplied spiritual revelation and nearness to me. My favor will open doors that have been locked for years in your life. My favor will go before you and make a way where there has been no way. It will be favor with God and with man. The evil empire is going to throw every dark plan they can at you to steal from you and to cause you great fear. Imagine how perplexed and angry they will be when they see you being prospered, healthy, and full of faith and joy. The contrast will be great between the darkness and the light, and people around the world will realize the deception and darkness that the evil empire operates from. They will be drawn to the light and to the reality of my outbreak of goodness. That is such a good word. And so good to know that we are part of this release of an outbreak of goodness with the warfare that we have released against the enemy plans. Barry Wunsch came out with a word, I think it was yesterday or so, and he actually was taken behind the scenes into the enemy camp and saw a list of all the things they had planned, and God showed him how he was canceling each and every one of them out. It was so encouraging. Keep praying, keep decreeing, keep declaring, because we are having an effect. All right, let's go back. March 2nd, 2024, journal nugget from last year called the Shakedown. So this experience, or this word, started with an encounter. I found myself in the council chamber of heaven. The 24 elders were seated around the table, and I went and I stood behind the elder that I always stand behind. And I hear them, they're talking about the nations. They state great disclosures of corruption are coming to Spain and Italy. I just think that that's really important that we hear this repeated, because I think we're about to see those exposures come forth. And Italy, of course, is where the Vatican is. So we'll see how that all unfolds. They also said Canada is ripe for an explosion of corruption being revealed. Boy, is that truer this year than last year. The rise and fall of many in America has begun. Wow, sobering words. And they said to me, know that there's more behind the scenes of all the resignations that are happening. So I thought that was really interesting. And that's what I wanted to bring this word back to you again, because it's going to address resignations, which we are beginning to see them flood in. So the Father said to me, I want my faithful warriors to know what is really going on behind all the resignations you are seeing. These resignations are not voluntary. These corrupt ones have been summoned to closed-door meetings with a team composed of military, judicial, and government leaders and spiritual advisors. The corrupt ones have been shown detailed, unshakable proof of their corruption, perversion, and treason. They are given the option of quietly resigning or face immediate exposure. I want you to know the strategic reason behind getting them to resign is to make room for my righteous choices to fill those positions. I also want you to know that resigning will count for something when they come to trial. Resign or not, they will all come to trial before true judges, both military tribunals and regular courtrooms. Watch these who know they have been caught, because they will be desperate to shift the attention from them by launching destruction and chaos. You take authority over these dark schemes and smash them, and declare that these corrupt ones will stand trial for all their evil deeds. The world is being shaken down so that all the evil ones will be exposed. My forces of light, you are the ones who will crush this exposed evil, and you will be the stability of your time. Hold on to me as the world goes through the shakedown. Well, March 1st, 2025, we had an interesting retirement. Francis Collins retired suddenly from being director of the NIH, National Institute for Health, after released documents exposed that he lied about his involvement in the gain of function research in the Wuhan lab in China. In case you don't know what gain of function research is, what it is they give these I've lost my word there, the people who research, researchers. They give them a virus, and then they said, you figure out how to make it more deadly. You figure out how to make it antibiotic resistant. It's like, who in their right mind would ever do that unless they were planning to use it against a population? So it has been a wicked scheme. So that's a good resignation. All right, let's move on to March 3rd, 2023, and it's called Liars, Traitors, and Thieves. This is Journal Nugget from 2 years ago. And this one puts a frame around what is happening in our world. He said the arrogant elite have portrayed a false face to the world. They present themselves as the source of truth, the keepers of democracy, and as philanthropists whose generosity helps those in great need. In reality, their darkened hearts do none of these. When the facade they hide behind is suddenly broken off, the world will jolt awake with horror at how deceived and gullible they have been. When that facade crashes down, the world will see the darkened hearts and lives of liars, traitors, and thieves. What has caused the church to be so blind to such hidden depravity? My people are meant to be the light of the world, the city set on a hill. They are meant to be the light of my truth that shines into every area of life. What caused the church's light to grow dim and their voices to be weak and irrelevant? The enemy took advantage of some dark seasons in the last 100 years to sow a false comfort doctrine into the church. That is the belief that my son is coming soon to snatch the church away to heaven out of all the darkness and evil. This escape mentality disarms and disempowers them from waging the victorious warfare they were designed for. My son is not an escape artist. He is a victorious king. I have given him the nations of the world as his inheritance. His kingdom has no limits, and it will continue to expand forever. We are told that in Daniel, in Isaiah, and other places too in the New Testament. Wait a minute, I lost my place there. It will continue to expand forever. The church will recognize and no longer be fooled by liars, traitors, and thieves when they awaken to who they are. You are not victims of darkness. You are victors, called to rule and reign over the darkness with the light that is within you. Army of light, take heart, because Operation Wake Up has been launched. Many are about to be rudely awakened to the wrong focus they've embraced, and they will join you in shining my light on the liars, traitors, and thieves. Spoiler alert, we win. All right, we're going to end with March 3rd of 2025. It was a powerful encounter and a powerful word. And I will be releasing a blessing after we go through this word. So that morning, I suddenly found myself in the garden of life, and Enoch was there, and he was just like already speaking to me. He understood and spoke to the two questions I was having about the future of our nation and the world. I have not said these out loud to anyone. These are just have been my thoughts that I've kind of laid out to the Lord. And so Enoch is telling me they're understood and they're known. So Enoch told me that the glorious future that I have seen may take years to reach its fullness, but my union with the Father is my true source of joy. So that's always number one, no matter what is going on. He said, as the good future unfolds, it will be icing on the cake. He reminded me that the day he lived in on the earth was very wicked. It was right before the flood that wiped out the world except for Noah and his sons and their wives. So that's the day he lived in, but he still found great joy and satisfaction from his union with the Father. And of course, Enoch was translated to heaven before the flood happened. Enoch then raised his right hand. He placed it near my heart. And then he said these precious words, I bless you to go deeper into the Father's heart than I did. I bless you to find complete joy and satisfaction in walking with him. My heart was absolutely warm and full, and I know that I'm supposed to release this blessing to all of you. This is what the Father spoke to me that morning. I saw in Enoch a heart that desired a deep and intimate relationship with me. I see that same longing in your heart and in the hearts of the army of light. I blessed Enoch's desire to know me and to walk with me, and our union became beautiful, powerful, and it brought forth fruit of the kingdom, even in the midst of gross darkness in the world. The seeds of light that he sowed from his union with me are still bearing good fruit to this day. Your life can have this life-giving power as well. This is light that shatters the darkness and establishes my kingdom. I blessed Enoch's union and deep walk with me, and he has now released that blessing to you. What you have been blessed with, you can now release to others. Receive the blessing and receive it to all who hear your voice or read these words. Declare, I bless you to go deeper in your walk with the Father, and I release deep joy and satisfaction from your union with him. Receive the blessing. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to release that blessing to you, but I wanted to address, Linda brought up some really important questions about this entry, because referring to the slow rollout of things, because if you're like me, it's like, I want everything to happen tomorrow. But our Father always has greater wisdom and better timing than we do. So as I process that with him and her questions, I believe he said to me, it is going to be a slow rollout of things because it's going to give time for vigilance to develop that will last, as each exposure needs to be digested, faced, and safeguards put in place to keep it from happening again. He said, you don't absorb much if you're in shock. So if he just dumped everything out, the world would be so in shock, nobody's going to absorb or understand much. So it needs to be slow rolled a bit, because each one needs to be digested as a breach of our freedoms. And we need to know that we've got to watch over them and be vigilant for it to never happen again. So, and also, it's his seed time and harvest. He has always worked in that way and always will in the earth. So we now are sowing seeds of exposure, of light, of truth, of justice, of righteousness. And they are seeds, and it will take a while for them to develop and to bring forth fruit, but they will. And each day, each year is going to get better and better. And meanwhile, we are developing that intimate relationship with the Father that Enoch had. And he found great joy, even in a time of deep, deep darkness. I mean, his day was a terrible time of darkness. Now, I think ours either parallels or will even go a little bit farther, because part of what he dealt with, I think, is going to be finished off in our age. So it's very important that we receive this blessing and we remain in joy and peace and strength in our relationship with him, because that's where our strength comes from to fight for the kingdom age to be established and the golden age to dawn. And dawn, of course, it's another way that things are gradual. Dawn comes gradually. And we'll see his wisdom ways in that. However, I do think this year we are going to see a lot of action. There are going to be a lot of things exposed and turned over. But there's so much that it is going to go on for years. But just remember that things are going to be getting lighter and freer all the time. So I am ready to release Enoch's blessing to all of you. And of course, it was the Father's blessing to Enoch, and he in turn is blessing us. I am blessing you, and you in turn can bless others. So here is that blessing. I bless you to go deeper into the Father's heart than I have. I bless you to find complete joy and satisfaction in walking with him. Just breathe that in and receive it. What a day and age we live in. How blessed we are to walk in deep communion with him. Well, let's end in a word of prayer. I love you all more than I can say. I love your comments. I love what you share. You're just an incredible people. You keep me encouraged, and I know that I'm loved. It's just such a blessing to walk through this war with you. Father, thank you for this day and age in which we are living. Thank you. We are going to see the fulfillment of things that Daniel and Isaiah and Ezekiel and Enoch saw and prophesied. And we thank you that we get to live during this time. It is going to be all the more worth it, Father, because you have trained us to fight for this. It's not just going to be handed to us on a silver platter. We have engaged with you in warfare and in defeating the evil empire to bring in your kingdom of light, life, joy, peace, righteousness, and justice. And we thank you for that. We stand with you strong and firm. We thank you for the Holy Spirit who strengthens us, empowers us, guides us, guards us. We thank you for the blood of the Lamb, Jesus, for your death and your resurrection, that we now have an intimate relationship with the Father. We're back home in his heart because of the sacrifice that you made. So we thank you, great, great God. We love you and thank you that we are partnering with you in bringing forth the kingdom era, the golden dawn, a new age for the world. Thank you. Thank you, Father. We bless you in the name of Jesus until we meet again. You just keep going over that blessing and receiving that and watch what the Father will do. Bye for now.